जय जिनेन्द्र। मंगलमय सॉरी अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So welcome back after a long time. Last week we didn't had one class. So today we are doing that extra class, and tomorrow and day after tomorrow again we will have class. So we'll try to complete this agam ke nay. Okay. Viewpoints in canonical scriptures. Have you listened to the recording of the first lecture on this?
Sorry, I haven't managed, sir.
Okay.
But
It
I'll
would have
catch up
been
on it.
hard.
I'll catch up on it. You can carry on where you left it.
Yeah, but if you would have understood, then it would have been better. Okay, no problem. So we were discussing last week about this viewpoints in canonical scriptures. Okay, so three things majorly that was highlighted was uh, that when we look at the thing in an overall manner, it is called comprehensive valid knowledge. Okay, comprehensive valid knowledge is a right knowledge where we are looking at all the aspects of the entity primarily all together, not making anything secondary. Everything is primary or everything is in principle. Okay, out of that we apply viewpoints. Okay, so when we apply substance point of view, then the substance part is highlighted. When we apply the modification point of view, the modification point is highlighted. And when we apply the comprehensive valid knowledge, then everything is highlighted at once. Okay, this was the essence of what we studied last week. Now we are going to move ahead from that part. We are on to page number 7. Last week also we had some corrections. Priyanka ji had noted it down. I think you can catch up on that also. Yeah, so we were going to start from question number 6. Okay, what is the meaning of the synthesis of substance and valid knowledge? So valid knowledge is wrong. It would be substance and modification. Okay, or in what lies the success of both viewpoints? So we have two viewpoints. One is substance point of view and the other is modification point of view. Now, what is the meaning of synthesis of substance and modifications? Okay. See the answer. Not taking the modification separately as an object of focus, but instead turning inward and uniting it with the substance. So our active consciousness, which was engaged in external objects, what we have done, okay, what we have done, we have turned that focus inward. Okay, it was outward, focusing on external objects. Now that active consciousness, we have bend it inward. Okay. And when it bends inward, it unites with the substance, uniting it with the substance. That is breaking the conceptual distinction. Conceptual means vikalp. Non-conceptual means nirvikalp. Okay. Vikalp ka bhed, bhed ka vikalp. Okay. So it is called conceptual distinction. Breaking the conceptual distinction between substance and modification. This is substance, this is modification. These are different kinds of conceptual thoughts. Okay. Breaking that thoughts between substance and modification and experiencing them as a single, undivided, non-conceptual awareness. Okay, this non-conceptual awareness is nothing but your self-realization. This alone is the synthesis of substance and modification, and that is the true success of both viewpoints. Okay. So our modification, which was outbound, we have to turn it inward and unite it with the substance, and then the self-realization happens. Okay. This is called non-conceptual awareness. There is no vikalp. Now only the experience, self-realization, and that is non-conceptual, nirvikalp. Okay. If one, having known the modification, remains arrested within its conceptualization, okay, then that is not the success of the viewpoint. Likewise, if one, having known the substance, does not center one's awareness upon it, okay, that too is not the success of the viewpoint. The success of both viewpoints, the substance viewpoint or the modification viewpoint, lies in knowing both substance and modification, dissolving their conceptual distinctions, and experiencing the modification as internally absorbed into the substance in an indistinct and unified form. So in these two paragraphs, they have explained the whole process of self-realization. Okay, how to manifest right knowledge. This is how you use the viewpoints. Okay, so earlier we had discussed real point of view and conventional point of view. Today we are, last week we had started the viewpoints in canonical scriptures. Okay, and so there are two types of scriptures: canonical scriptures and spiritual scriptures. So spiritual scriptures, in spiritual scriptures, we use real point of view and conventional point of view. And in canonical viewpoints, and in canonical scriptures, we use this substance viewpoint and the modification viewpoint. Okay. So the success of both the viewpoints is in self-realization. Okay. And how we do it, that is explained in the two paragraphs. I am repeating the second paragraph again. If one, having known the modification, remains arrested within its conceptualization, then that is not the success of the viewpoint. Which viewpoint? Modification viewpoint. Likewise, if one, having known the substance, does not centers one awareness upon it, that too is not the success of the substance viewpoint. The success of both viewpoints lies in knowing both substance and modification, dissolving their conceptual distinction, and experiencing the modification as internally absorbed into the substance. So now there is no difference of substance, modification, there is no difference of valid knowledge, viewpoints, nothing. Only self-realization, experience of the self. Okay. So this is a very good, uh, in short, they have explained the whole process of self-realization, and this is how it happens. Okay. Now,
So I'm not able to understand. Could you expand a little bit more on it?
so you
Like,
know the substance viewpoint.
yeah, I was there in the last class.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in substance viewpoint, where you focus, the whole entity consists of substance, attributes, modification. Okay. Dravya, gun, paryay. Okay. Out of that whole entity, the substance viewpoint focuses on which part? Tell
On
me,
the inner,
Rajeshri.
on the inner
No,
part,
on the
on the
substance
whole,
part.
on
On
the
the
whole,
substance part.
on the whole thing.
No, no,
It's
no.
a,
On the substance part. Because we are now discussing viewpoints, no?
yeah,
So substance viewpoint focuses on which part?
substance
Substance part, right. And modification viewpoint focuses on which part?
on
Modification
the
part,
modifications.
right? And there
Yeah.
is no attribute viewpoint, that's we discussed last week, right? The last question on this was discussed, that should, question 4, you can see in the previous page, should there also be a quality related viewpoint? Gunarthik nahi. So that was there, negated, that no need, because the attributes are included in the substance and the distinctions of attributes are included in the modification. So we did not need another viewpoint by the name of quality related viewpoint. Okay.
Actually, sir, I
Yeah.
read I
Uh,
read 2 pages, but I couldn't understand anything.
so
I
you have
don't
my
know.
number, no? You have my
I've got your,
number.
yeah,
You
I've
can
got,
just pick
yeah.
up the phone and call me. I will solve the
Okay,
problem there and there.
okay,
Because
sir.
if this
Yeah,
keeps on accumulating, no doubts, then you
yeah.
will not be able to move ahead. Okay.
That's what I couldn't read beyond 2 pages, so then I just left it. I just could not get
Mhm.
into the
And you have
substance. So
got all the Hindi book with you.
I've got the Hindi book. Yeah, I'll
So
read it.
you keep Hindi book also side by side. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And then
Yeah,
you start to study. I think you
yeah.
will be better off. Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. So now coming on to the seventh. Okay. Seventh question. Is the nature of entity favorable to us? Entity means the whole substance, substance, attributes, modification, all put together is the entity. Okay. Yes, the nature of entity is indeed favorable to us. For what we desire is unchanging and eternal, while what is undesirable, what we ourselves seeks to change, is changeable and transient. Okay. So the entity has two parts. One is substance part, one is modification part. We are not discussing now the attribute part because attribute is a part of substance only. Okay. So majorly we have two things, substance and modification. Okay. So substance part is unchanging and eternal. We have to focus on that substance part to bring happiness in our life. From time immemorial, we have been focusing on the modification part, and those modifications are transient. It's only for one moment, next moment, new modification, next moment, new modification. So which itself is changing, how we can take shelter in that. Okay. So we should take shelter in our substance. Okay. So for what we desire is unchanging and eternal. So our substance is unchanging and eternal. While what is undesirable? What is undesirable? The modification is undesirable because it keeps on changing every moment. Okay. So we cannot take shelter in something which is changing every moment. We take always shelter which is solid, which is unchanging, which is eternal. Okay. There only we can take shelter and we can rest in that. Okay. So the modification is undesirable. It is always changing. So what we ourselves seek to change is changeable and transient. Just as the unchanging, pure conscious element makes us fearless. What is this unchanging, pure consciousness element? What is this unchanging, pure conscious element? Rajeshri ji?
It's the substance, sir.
Yeah,
It's the
substance.
substance. Yeah.
Yes. It is the substance where we are looking to focus on, right?
Trikali
Just
Dhruva.
Trikali Dhruv, right? Now we are right on target. Just as the unchanging, pure conscious element makes us fearless. Why we are fearless? Because we know it is eternal. Okay? We have been wandering in transmigrations to time immemorial, but nothing of that pure conscious element changed. It is unchangeable. Okay? So that makes us fearless, that our existence is unchallenged. Nobody can destroy me, nobody can create me, nobody can harm me. I am independent, I am not dependent on anything. So all these makes us fearless and prevent the rise of any sense of helplessness. I am not helplessness because I am complete in myself. So one who is complete in himself, why he would be helplessness? So no rise of any sense of helplessness. Similarly, the impure transformations, the modification, reassure us that there is no need for worry, because impurity is not eternal. It keeps on changing. So impurity will change to purity. Therefore, the nature of entity is indeed favorable to us. And this nature of entity is what constitutes the comprehensive valid knowledge. Okay. Valid knowledge means full entity, out of which substance viewpoint focuses on substance, modification viewpoint focuses on modification. Okay. Now, number 8. Okay. You stop me in between any point of time. If you are not clear, you can stop me in between. Okay. I don't mind repeating again and again. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
When you talk about being fearless,
Yes.
then we are in this lifespan at this moment trying to
Right.
realize ourselves.
Right.
But sometimes like we have a fear, or I have a fear, that what if I'm not able to do it? So how do you deal with that? Because you might be doing the right things or trying to do the right things, maybe not 100%,
So
but how do
actually your true identity is you are not a doer. So where is the question coming of doing anything? You are a knower. So knowing part doesn't stop, right? Even when we
right?
are sleeping in the night, still our knowledge part keeps on working. That's why we know that yesterday I saw that dream. That how do we remember that? Because our knowledge is working 24/7. It never stops. So I am that entity which is always knowing, 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 knowing. And I'm not doing anything, right? So why I'm fearless? Because my function is to know. And I know that I am complete in myself. My existence is eternal, right? There is nothing that can harm me. No nuclear bomb, atom bomb, missile can harm me in any manner. I just keep on changing forms, right? If my age here is over, I leave this body and take another body according to my karmas. Okay. So that feeling of eternalness, that feeling of I am complete in myself, that feeling of I am unchanging, that feeling of myself that I am uninfluenced by any external circumstances, all these makes me fearless. Makes me
Okay.
realize that I am the supreme thing in this universe. Even Aryanth and Tirthankar are not supreme to me. For me, I myself is the supreme. Okay. So this kind of feeling, if you evolve, this kind of thought process you go through and realize yourself that you are that complete entity, then automatically happiness will flow. You will enjoy those moments, right? So what we are focusing always is on the changing part, time immemorial, right? That now it was anger, then it was pride. So it keeps on changing. The modification keeps on changing, and we keep on chasing those things which are not in our hand, because we are not the doer in the first place. We are the knower. So you remain a knower, you are relaxed. There is nothing on your head to do anything. Even
Okay.
when we went to hell, we were still a knower. When we went to one sensed being, still we were knower. So when we were not knowing our identity, nothing happened. We are complete in ourselves. Number of attributes that I had in one sensed being is the same number of attributes that I have right now. And when I get liberated also, same number of attributes are there. So nothing is changing. So I am that entity. So when you put yourself, when you position yourself in that manner, that you are only a knower and not a doer, then automatically the happiness flows in. Okay.
Okay.
So now you are not worried for anything because you are a knower. Your function is to know. So when knowing stops, then it's a cause of worry, but it never stops. It's happening since time immemorial. Okay.
Sir, 1 minute. Can I? Sir,
Yes, yes.
this subject is
Uh-huh.
canonical viewpoints. Means what is the subject says whether about the vastu, to understand the vastu swarupa. What is that? This
No,
subject?
no, not Vastu Swarup.
Mm,
See, Vastu Swarup is also a part of it, but the thing is that like as a human being, as a human, we want to realize ourselves.
self-realization.
Yes,
Mm,
because I may know many things about the matter, but it's
mm,
not going to help me in any manner.
mm, mm,
So from Vastu Swarup also, we
mm.
connect to our self.
Oh.
That is where we are going to benefit from.
So
Okay.
these two, with this Dirvyatika Paryatika Naya, through these viewpoints, we are going to realize ourselves. That is the thing.
Yes. Now the
Okay.
next question is about that only. You will understand
Okay,
better.
okay. Thank you.
Why are
Oh, yes,
viewpoints
correct.
necessary for
Exactly.
self-realization? Okay. Why are viewpoints necessary for self-realization? Who is this phone guest? Priyanka.
No, she is
Phone
just
is
now.
me only. I have to change
She's
the name.
just now spoke to you, sir. I
Acha,
forgot the
acha.
name.
Shashikala. I have changed it
Shashikala
to
ji.
phone.
Okay. So I was just worrying that there are so much of war going on, Dubai and all. I think she is in.
She's in Delhi, sir. She's in
Acha, she
Rajasthan.
has come. Acha, okay.
Huh. She's here till the
Oh,
21st, but Dubai airport is shut. No flights are
hmm.
landing.
So
So
she
she'll
has.
be in India.
Okay, good,
Looks
good.
like she'll have to settle here.
Okay. No, she told me that she is going to come to see her grandmother.
Her nani.
Yeah,
Her nani.
nani, right. Okay, good. She's here. Okay.
I
So,
was worrying. I was about to ask you how is she. Now it's
hmm,
nice. She's here.
I didn't knew she has landed, but I was also worrying, so that's why I checked.
Yes, sir. I was about to ask you how is she.
Hmm.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So why are viewpoints necessary for self-realization? When the viewpoint focuses on the general aspect by setting aside the specific characteristics of a wholesome general, specific entity. General is Samanya, specific is Vishesh. Okay. So every entity, the wholesome entity, is general specific. Okay. The inherent pure transformation manifest, leading to self-realization. Okay. So when the viewpoint focuses on the general aspect, okay, general aspect, by setting aside the specific characteristics. So the whole entity has two parts. One is general, one is specific. The substance viewpoint focuses on the general part. The modification viewpoint focuses on the specific characteristics or the specific part. Okay. So when the viewpoint focuses on the general aspect, so which viewpoint we are talking about? Substance viewpoint. Okay. By setting aside the specific characteristics of a wholesome, general, specific entity, the inherent pure transformation manifest, okay, leading to self-realization. When substance-related viewpoint entirely subordinates the modification aspect of an entity characterized by both substances and modification, then by completely disregarding all modification, making no distinctions between true and false modification, and keeping the entire realm of modification out of consideration, the viewpoint becomes focused solely on the undifferentiated general substance. Okay. So when we discard all the modifications and focus only on the substance part, then this self-realization happens. It is then that the inherent pure transformation naturally manifests and self-realization arises. Therefore, substance-related viewpoint is essential for self-realization. So what is the need of modification viewpoint? Only substance viewpoint will do. Okay. Now you understand the second part of the answer. When the focus turns away from substance-related viewpoint, it will either move towards the entire entity, that is valid knowledge, or towards the modification. Only two options are there. Okay. Either the entire entity, which is the valid knowledge, or towards the modification. When the focus becomes the modification, then the substance aspect becomes completely auxiliary, secondary, okay, ignored. It's ignored, but there is not the absence, only it is ignored. Otherwise, the true nature of the modification will not become clear and the entire entity will not be known through valid knowledge. Okay. So in order to self-realization, we need to know the substance point also, the substance part also, and the modification part also. Okay. So when the focus becomes the modification, then the substance aspect becomes completely secondary or auxiliary. Otherwise, the true nature of the modification will not become clear. Okay. So to know the true nature of the modification, we have to ignore the substance aspect. Okay. And the entire entity will not be known through valid knowledge. Hence, for knowing the entire entity, for right knowledge, the knowledge of both viewpoints is necessary. And for right knowledge, right belief is necessary, because right belief precedes the right knowledge. So first right belief manifests, then right knowledge follows, and then right conduct. And for right belief, self-realization is necessary. In short, viewpoints are necessary for self-realization, because viewpoint has the power to focus one part and ignore other parts. Okay. In valid knowledge, you are looking at all the parts. Nothing is secondary. Everything is primary. everything is principle. Okay. But when you apply viewpoints,
Excuse me 1 minute, right? Valid knowledge means we are talking about Praman.
yes, valid knowledge is Praman.
Okay.
So in Praman, you are seeing everything, okay, being highlighted. But when you apply the viewpoints, it focuses only on one part and other parts are ignored, okay, or negated, okay. But it is not that it creates an absence of those parts. No, those parts are very well present. But right now we are focusing on one part, so all other parts are ignored, okay. This you must understand. So viewpoint's job is to focus one part at a time, okay. So this is how we know the elements in a better way by applying the viewpoints.
Sorry, Jay, excuse me. Can you summarize one more time, please?
The whole this process?
Yeah, this processing.
Okay. Darshaji, take it below, slightly below.
Summarize it.
Yeah. Not this one. Question 8, we were, yeah, this one, yeah. Okay. So, two things are there. One is valid knowledge, where there is no part is focused or no part is ignored, okay. Everything is in focus, okay. That is valid viewpoint. Now, when you want to realize yourself, we have to focus only on the substance part. So that is only possible with applying viewpoints, okay. So in that comprehensive valid knowledge, we apply the viewpoints, okay. So by applying the substance viewpoint, we totally ignore the modification part, and the substance part is highlighted. It is focused, okay. And that's how the self-realization happens. So substance viewpoint is quite necessary. Now, modification part is also necessary. Why? Because modification part, when you look from the modification viewpoint, the substance part is ignored. Only modification viewpoint is focused, okay. And at that time, you are able to know the level of purity that has manifested, the level of impurity that is still existing, okay. And you know that process of taking shelter into the substance part to remove that impurities gradually, okay.
That is when we are focusing on modification part.
Yes, modification part, because how much is the purity, how much is the impurity, how much different kinds of passions are there.
How much pure is the substance?
Yes. So substance is eternally pure.
Yeah,
substance has no problem, but it's modification.
But according to us.
Yes. What you said?
According to Pariyai, modification, based on modification, we know how pure the soul is.
Yeah, we know the soul is eternal, soul is pure, soul is unchanging, that we all know. But the modification of the soul, that is momentary, transient in nature. It keeps on changing every moment, okay? And in that modification, we know that this impurity right now is existing, that will go away. As we keep on taking shelter of the substance part, this impurities will go on reducing and the purity will set in, okay. And a time will come that complete impurities will be evacuated and complete purity would be manifested, okay. So we need to focus, we need to know both the viewpoints, okay. Only substance viewpoint will not do.
Thank you, Ji.
Okay. As you travel in a highway, you know you have to travel 100 kilometers. So at a quite distance, there are milestones that 20 kilometers covered, 30 kilometers covered, you know. So this is how you track your progress. So modification viewpoint is also to be known to track our progress, to track our faults, to track our blemishes, to improve on all these are related, okay. So both viewpoints are necessary for self-realization. Now we are moving on to the second part of the text, that is substance related viewpoint and mode related viewpoint. Okay, this is the second chapter. The heading is given above this, Darshitji, or it's not there? I don't think that it's there, but you can write it down at the top. This is the second chapter. Okay, substance related viewpoint and mode related viewpoint. Now we will be doing it in details. Every entity possesses both a general and a specific aspect. Now, I'll tell you the four names, One is general. So you make two columns, one substance viewpoint and the other is modification viewpoint. Okay. So the first one is here, if you put general, in the modification column, you will put specific. Okay. It's the cover page of the textbook. Just see cover page. From there, you will understand better. For any, this is the structure of any substance. Yeah. Yeah. So this is Dravyarthik Nai, this is Paryarthik Nai. Okay. Substance viewpoint, you write in English, it's written in Hindi, but I'll give you all the English names. You can write it down once and for all. Everyone should write. Okay. I'm not going to repeat it again and again. Okay. So Dravyarthik Nai, Paryarthik Nai. So Dravyarthik Nai ko English mein, what we say in English? Substance viewpoint. Modification viewpoint. Okay. Samanya. Samanya is general. Vishes. Vishes is specific. Okay. Abhed. Non-differentiated. Bhed. Differentiated. Nitya. Eternal. Anitya. Non-eternal. And the last one, ek, anek. So ek is one, anek is many. Okay. Now, in between you can see Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. So Dravya is substance, Kshetra is space, Kal is time, Bhav is Bhav, they call it as a
Disposition. Wow.
attribute. Attribute.
No, sir. Bow is disposition. No.
A disposition is also there, but here it is used as in the sense of quality or attributes. Okay. Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. So every substance has these four dimensions. Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. Substance, space, time, and let me see what we can use a better word. Bhav, they use nature. Okay. So these distinctions that we did, general, specific, are from the substance relation to substance, relation to substance, these two distinctions. Okay. The next two distinctions, which were non-differentiated, differentiated, they were in relation to space. Okay. The third distinction was eternal, non-eternal. That was relation to time. And the last one, many, that was from the relation to nature. Nature. Okay. Okay. Now the
So, bhav means state of modification, right?
No, it's not used in that sense here. Bhav is also disposition. Bhav is also state of modification. So different terminologies are used. You have to see the context. Here it means quality. Okay. Bhav. Okay. So So this 4 you have written down, okay? This will be repeating again and again. So every entity, now again coming back to the text we were reading, every entity possesses both a general and specific aspect. So general and specific aspect is which?
Sir, one small thing, sir. The
Yeah.
hand is closing one eye means, we have to view in one
Yes.
way.
You can see when you apply viewpoints, you will have one viewpoint.
Other one is as a gone.
Yes, others are ignored or gone or secondary. Okay, one is primary, another is secondary. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir. Just I
Okay.
want to confirm.
Yeah. Okay. Now every entity possesses both a general and specific aspect. Okay. All the terms vastu, entity, padarth, object, and dravya are often used interchangeably. Okay. So this is the structure of all the substance of this universe. Okay.
Sir, vastu means substance will not come.
Vastu is substance. It's written over there.
No.
Vastu, entity, padarth, object is also entity, and dravya, substance are often used interchangeably. On hearing the words vastu or padarth, our attention commonly turns to objects like tables and chairs. However, in the present context, Jeev is also included within the scope of vastu and padarth. In fact, here the term vastu and padarth are used synonymously in the sense of dravya, that is substance. Okay. On hearing the word substance, our attention is naturally directed towards the 6 substances. These 6 substances encompass the entire universe. All entities of existence, both living and non-living, are included within them. Okay. So what are these 6 substances? Soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of rest,
Dharma, okay.
Space, time. Okay. Okay. We seek, on hearing the word substance, okay, this is done. We seek to know all entities, substance and objects. These can be known only through valid knowledge and viewpoint. So we have only 2 tools to know any substance. One is valid knowledge and other is the viewpoint, praman or nai. Okay, 2 things. Valid knowledge apprehends the entire entity in its totality, while viewpoints apprehend its aspects, its parts. Okay. In valid knowledge, a good word to use would be comprehensive valid knowledge. You can write it down at one place, comprehensive valid knowledge. Okay. So comprehensive valid knowledge and apprehends the entire entity in its totality, while viewpoints apprehend its aspects. In valid knowledge, all aspects are considered equally primary. None is secondary. Valid knowledge, okay? Because it does not involve a distinction between primary and secondary. There is no distinctions like that. In a valid knowledge, everything is primary. In contrast, in viewpoint-based knowledge, some aspects are considered as primary and others as secondary. Mukhya, gone. Primary is mukhya and secondary is gone. Okay. The part of the knowledge that takes the general aspect of a thing as its object is called substance-related viewpoint. And the part that takes the specific aspect as its object is called mode-related viewpoint or modification-related viewpoint.
Sir, can I ask one small doubt? See, Jeev has this specific knowledge, special knowledge like Gyan Darshan. Then how to connect with that? Specific aspect. It will not. It is not specific aspect. Jeev. How to
So
connect?
Jeev as a complete entity is
Hmm.
general, specific put together.
Okay.
Out of this general part is the substance part, and specific part is the modification part.
But Jeev is Jnana Darshan is special, no, sir.
These are all its inherent nature, inherent
Okay.
attributes.
Oh, it's not a specific
Yes.
attributes like that.
No,
It
it's
is
not a specific attributes.
not.
So that in that sense, if you are using
Hmm.
general attributes and common attributes and specific attributes, that
Hmm.
discussion we are not doing right now. Here,
Okay,
general and
okay.
specific is related to that.
Modification
Itself.
and this inherent quality like that.
Yes.
Okay, okay. That's why I got.
Okay. Whereas the knowledge that comprehends both aspects together is called valid knowledge. So far, everything clear? Okay. Now the subject matter. Substance related viewpoint makes the general aspect of a general particular entity its subject by making its particular aspect. Now this particular word has to be changed to specific. It will come again and again. Every time you have to change it to specific. Everyone do it in your textbook.
But where to what? Where? Which one has to be changed?
Second line. Substance related viewpoint makes the general aspect of a particular general specific entity its subject by making its specific aspect, not particular. Particular, you replace the word specific to particular. We want to use standard terminology everywhere. So they have used somewhere specific, somewhere particular, but we want to use everywhere general and specific. Okay. General means samanya, specific means vishesh. Okay. So substance related viewpoint makes the general aspect of a general specific entity. Done, everyone has done. Its subject by making its specific aspect secondary, and mode related viewpoint makes the specific aspect its subject by making the general aspect secondary. Okay. So two types of presentation. One is where general is highlighted, okay, because it is substance related viewpoint. So it highlights the general aspect and the specific aspect is secondary. Okay. Similarly, the modification related viewpoint makes the specific aspect its subject by making the general aspect secondary. Okay. This definition may also be understood as follows. In a general specific entity, again Darshitji correction. In a general specific entity, that is an entity having the nature of substance and modification, when the particular means specific aspect is made secondary and the general aspect alone is taken as the subject, it is substance related viewpoint. So substance related viewpoint focuses on the subject part and makes the modification part secondary. Okay. So in terms of general and specific entity, so general entity is the substance viewpoint and the specific aspect is the modification viewpoint. This viewpoint brings about the experience of substance by making the modification secondary. Conversely, modification related viewpoint makes substance the general aspect secondary and leads primarily to the experience of modification, the particular aspect, not particular aspect, but specific aspect. The subject of both these viewpoints remains within the boundary of a single entity. So one single entity, one part specific, one part general, another part specific. Okay. General part forms the part of substance viewpoint, and specific part forms part of mode related viewpoint. Okay. The primary function of these viewpoints is not to view all entities collectively, but rather to view and analyze each entity according to its distinct aspects. Okay. Since every entity has two fundamental aspects, substance and modification, the fundamental viewpoint that apprehend them are also two, substance and mode related or modification related. Mode and modification are the same. So somewhere it is mentioned mode related, it also means modification related. Somewhere it is written as modification related, it also means mode related. Whichever aspect of an entity becomes the subject of a particular viewpoint, that aspect is considered primary. Okay. So which is highlighted or which is becoming the subject, that aspect is considered primary, while the remaining aspects are treated as secondary. जिसको मुख्य किया, ठीक है, जिसको हाईलाइट किया वो मुख्य और बाकी सब गौण, secondary. The primary aspect, yeah.
Can you explain with a realistic example, sir? This language is like round and round, sir.
So you have seen many times in movies, a hero and heroine in a song. When the turn comes of hero to sing, okay, that part is focused. The hero's face is very clear. Simultaneously, the heroine's face becomes blurred. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
So that is called substance viewpoint. Now, the heroine will sing and the hero's face will become blur, and that is called modification viewpoint. Okay. So one thing is will be highlighted,
So
which
will
will
not
become
that be
very.
also called, will
Pardon?
not that be also called substance viewpoint? Because
Yeah, the
that will
substance
also
viewpoint.
because only the background which goes, that might be secondary. Because if the
Only
boy
hero
or
is
the
highlighted.
girl,
Hero's face is highlighted because hero is singing now.
yeah,
So
and when
hero's
the
face is
heroine
highlighted.
sings,
All things are secondary now. Okay. All
okay,
things are secondary. And when heroine is highlighted, then all things are secondary. So this is how you have to, viewpoints job is to do this only. One aspect will be highlighted, other aspects will be secondary or ignored. Okay.
Sir, in the blue sky, moon is shining. When you
Hmm.
say moon is shining, means we are focusing on the moon. We are not bothering about the sky, how the sky like that.
Yes.
We can
Like,
understand like that.
yes. So that is the job of a viewpoint. The viewpoint, what it does, it highlights one aspect. So that thing become very clear to you. And other things are ignored that point of time. So all your attention is diverted to that one thing, particular thing which is being highlighted. Okay. So in this way, your knowledge becomes correct. Okay. Because you know each aspect very clearly now. Okay.
Sir, because all these things, what they are trying to say means you realize yourself what you are like that. They are taking like that, taking all these arguments.
No, they are like every entity will
Hmm.
have these two aspects. Okay, one
Yes.
substance aspect, one modification aspect.
Modification.
From time immemorial, we have been focusing on the modification aspect.
Yes.
We never focused on the substance aspect. If we would have focused, we
Hmm.
would have liberated by now. Okay.
Hmm.
So now the acharyas are teaching us that you
Hmm.
learn this technique of
Okay.
ignoring everything and highlighting one part. Okay.
Okay.
And this is how you know the whole thing. The
Hmm.
idea is to know the whole thing. Okay.
Okay.
Very clearly. So the primary functions where we were this paragraph in a general particular entity. Okay, we were here. Okay. The primary functions of this viewpoint is not to view all entities collectively, but rather to view and analyze each entity according to its distinct aspects. since every entity has two fundamental aspects. Okay, substance and modification, the fundamental viewpoints that apprehend them are also two: substance related, mode related. Whichever aspect of an entity becomes the subject of a particular viewpoint, that aspect is considered primary, while the remaining aspects are treated as secondary. Nothing wrong. Okay. The primary aspect is called the intended aspect, vivakshit ansh. Okay. Intended means where you are going to focus, which is to be focused or highlighted. Okay. The primary aspect is always called the intended aspect, and the secondary aspect is always called the unintended aspect. Avivakshit ansh. Vivakshit ansh means that which has to be highlighted, which has to be explained in detail, and avivakshit is which has to be ignored. It is particularly important to note here that a viewpoint renders the other aspect secondary. It does not negate it. This is very important, you underline. It is particularly important to note here that a viewpoint renders the other aspect secondary. It does not negate it. That is, the other aspect still has existence in the entity, but it is not currently the subject of our knowledge, nor the focus of our attention. That means we are ignoring it now. Okay, we are highlighting at one place, so everything else becomes secondary. For example, in every entity, both general and specific, correction again, correct, general and specific aspects are present. When we make the general aspect the subject, the specific becomes secondary. Again, change. Specific becomes secondary. And when we make the particular, particular means specific, the subject, the highlighted subject, the general becomes secondary. Clear up to now? Everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The general aspect of an entity pertains to substance related viewpoint. So what substance related viewpoint will highlight? The general aspect. Okay. While the specific aspect pertains to mode related viewpoint. Clear? The complete entity encompassing both general and specific aspect is the subject of valid knowledge. Okay. The complete entity, which consists of substance and modification, encompassing both general and specific aspects, is the subject of valid knowledge, comprehensive valid knowledge. A key point to note here is that just as the entity that is the subject of valid knowledge is general and specific in relation to substance. Now the middle part is coming. Okay. The same diagram that was in the cover page of this textbook. Okay. A key point to note here that just as the entity that is the subject of valid knowledge is general and specific in relation to substance, so too it is characterized by identity and difference. Cut both the words. It will be non-differentiated and differentiated in relation to space. Everyone has written down non-differentiated and differentiated in relation to space. Then the third part, permanence and impermanence. So we have already used eternal, non-eternal. So you cut down permanence, write it eternal, cut down impermanence, write it non-eternal. By eternal and non-eternal in relation to time, and by unity and plurality that we have written as one and many in relation to nature. Bhav. Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. Got it? Okay. In relation to nature. Okay. So nature is again Swabhav. So Swabhav means Bhav. All these 4 dimensions, okay, substance, space, time, and nature are existing in every substance of the universe. Okay.
Subhav suits very well, sir. That Bhav for Bhav word, Subhav suits very well.
Swabhav, Swabhav. Swabhav means self nature.
Yes, Subhav, correct.
Self nature. Okay. So every substance has 4 dimensions. Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. No entity goes out of these 4 dimensions. Okay. So as a soul, we are in our substance, we are in our space, we are in our time, and we are in our nature. We never leave these 4 entities, 4 dimensions of ourselves. Okay. And that is so with all the substances of this universe. And that's why one substance does not harm another, substance does not help another, because each substance has got its own 4 dimensions. It never goes beyond those 4 dimensions. Okay. So each substance exists in itself all the time, eternally. Soul never becomes matter, matter never becomes soul. Okay. Soul remains soul, matter remains matter. Thus, the subject of valid knowledge. So you have corrected unity and plurality. You have written what? Rajeshri, what you have written? Unity and plurality. What you have written? Darshiji, what you have written?
It will be one and many.
Yes, one and many. Very good. All write down. Otherwise, we will get confusing because this chat GPT keeps on changing names as according to his will. You know. Okay. Thus, the subject of valid knowledge includes not only that which is general and specific, but also that which is singular and multiple. Now again, name has changed. You see, single will be one, multiple will be many. Okay. Eternal and transit, again name changed. You see, permanence and impermanence, 2 lines ago it was permanence, impermanence. Now they have changed to eternal and transient. So we have given very valid eternal and non-eternal. Okay. And last one was non-differentiated and differentiated. Abhed, bhed. Okay. Distinct you cut down. Differentiated. We will use standard terminology everywhere. Okay. Within the subject of valid knowledge, the aspect corresponding to substance related viewpoint consists of, now only we are focusing on the substance related viewpoint. So how the entity would look from substance related viewpoint? It is general. Okay. Then next will come, if you put it in sequence, it will come like this: general, non-differentiated, then eternal, and then one. Here they have changed the sequence also. Okay. General, one, eternal, and non-differentiated. Nature of the entity. While the aspect corresponding to mode related viewpoint consists of specific, many, non-eternal, and differentiated nature of the entity. Everyone is doing the corrections? Okay. In the whole, or possessor of parts, unsee. Okay. Whole entity is what it is called? Whole entity is also called unsee in Hindi. Okay. AMSI. Actually, it is ANSI, ANSI, but N is written as M while transliterating Hindi. Okay. So ANSI means possessor of parts, and ANS means parts. In Hindi, ANS means parts, ANSI means possessor of parts. Okay. In the whole, that is the subject of substance related viewpoint, all its parts are secondary. In the whole, that is the subject of substance related viewpoint, all its parts are secondary. However, in the whole, that is the subject of valid knowledge, both the whole and its parts are primary. Okay. So whole is anshi and its parts are ansh. They both are primary when it is valid knowledge. Okay. But when it is viewpoints, one part would be highlighted, the other part would be secondary. Viewpoints render.
Ji, excuse me, I didn't understand that one, Ji. In the whole entity.
Yeah. In the whole entity, that is the subject of substance related viewpoint.
Any example, Ji?
Example. What example I would give? Okay. You take an example of a gold necklace. Okay. So in the gold necklace, when you are focusing on the gold, it is called the substance related viewpoint. Okay. When you are focusing on the necklace, it is called the modification related viewpoint. And when you focus on the whole thing, gold necklace, okay, it is called the valid knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. So
Right.
when we
After that, say something like that. That is subject of substance.
ANSI is nothing but the whole entity.
No, that is subject of substance related viewpoint. All its parts are secondary. What they are saying, Ji?
1 minute. Let me see. Page number
Little bit.
16. We are on to 16. Okay. In Hindi, it is 16. I'll read the Hindi one. I think you can, in the whole.
The Hindi page, what is that Hindi page?
Hindi page is 16.
Okay.
Let me see. 1 minute. I'll just. द्रव्यार्थिक नई के विषय रूप अंशी. Okay. In the whole, anshi is whole. That is the subject of substance related viewpoint. उसके सभी अंश गौण, all its parts are secondary. और प्रमाण के विषय रूप अंशी. ओके. में अंशी के साथ साथ वे अंश भी मुख्य रूप से ही विषय बनते हैं. So this will be more clear if you move on to page number 27. So there are two types of substance. Okay. Substance number 1, substance number 2. Substance number 1 is praman ka dravya. Okay. Substance from the valid knowledge. Okay. So that is called dravya number 1. And dravya number 2 is the dravya part of the whole entity. Okay. So dravya number 2 is the subject of our focus. Okay. And dravya number 1 is the subject of valid knowledge. Now you understood? Subhaji?
I think so. I think so, sir. You should give the example of that day when you said when a photographer goes to a theater where he sees the whole audience. I think that's a better example.
So in that example, if I apply this principle,
that was better. Yeah.
So when the photographer enters the auditorium, at a glance, he sees the audience, the speaker, and the whole auditorium. Okay.
That is Praman.
That is Praman, valid knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. And that is called Dravya number 1.
Okay.
Whole entity. Okay.
Okay.
Then the second is he focuses only on the speaker.
Okay.
That is Dravya number 2.
Okay.
The subject of our focus.
Okay.
Where we want to take shelter, which is our identity. Okay, that is Dravya number 2.
Okay.
And the audiences are modification, which are secondary now, because I have focused on Dravya number 2. Okay. So Dravya has got two meanings. One is the whole entity is also called Dravya, and the focused part of that whole entity, that is Dravya. Okay, Dravya part is also called Dravya. So we have Dravya number 1, which is nothing but the valid knowledge, complete entity. Okay. And Dravya number 2 is from that valid knowledge, when you are focusing on the substance, then it is called Dravya number 2. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now again we will read that. Come back to our original page, Darshit ji. We are on to page number 9. Yes. In the whole means Praman wala Dravya. That is the subject of substance related viewpoint. All its parts are secondary. See, in the whole,
In the whole means what they are talking about, Ji.
in the whole means Dravya number 1.
Okay.
Which consists
we can
of
talk about
substance, modification, the gold necklace. Okay. In the
Okay.
gold necklace, from if we apply the substance viewpoint, then we will say that whole entity is of gold. Okay. And all its other parts, all its other parts apart from like
color, yellow,
color,
sturdy.
yeah, color, weight.
Won't weight, it is having sturdy, all this.
Yes, all are secondary. All its parts are secondary. Even necklace is also secondary. Okay. However, in the second part, in the whole, that is the subject of valid knowledge, both the whole and its parts are primary. Nothing is secondary. In the first case, all other parts are secondary, only one part is primary. In the second case, nothing is secondary, all are primary. Now you understood?
Yes, Ji.
So second part is the valid knowledge, Pramanka Dravya. The first part is the Dravyartik Naika Dravya, that is Dravya number 2. Okay.
Okay, Ji.
Okay. This will be clear later on. This will keep you on repeating. Viewpoints render the other aspect secondary, not non-existence. Whereas in the subject of valid knowledge, there is no distinction between primary and secondary. So here we stop. Our time is over. Tomorrow we'll continue from here. Just read in between at home from beginning. Okay. And wherever you find difficulty, if you have the Hindi book, you can refer the Hindi book. And still, if it is not clear, you can call me anytime throughout the day without messaging me. Sometimes my internet would be closed, so you can directly call me. Because when I'm resting, when I'm in class, then I keep my phone silent. When I'm resting, I keep my phone silent. Every time else, my phone is always available. So you can simply call me. No need to message, sir, should I call or nothing like that. You simply call. We will connect on same time and I'll explain you. Okay. So little bit of struggle is there. You have to do it because we are studying in English. If it would have been Hindi, it could have been very easy because the terminology are so well established. Now we are literally doing the translation.
We are familiar with the terminology of Hindi, no? That's why, sir.
You are familiar, but everyone is not familiar, no? Darshitji doesn't know. Even Jin Priya and other students are also not knowing. But anyway, we will manage. So initially, with little bit of practice, you will be well accustomed with the terminology, and then you will be able to connect to the right meaning. Okay? So not a
Sir, I have a
problem.
question.
Yes, yes.
When you're using the example of the gold necklace,
Yes.
and then we are saying that the weight of the gold, the color of the gold, all those things, then doesn't that become attributes?
Yeah, so those are, everything is ignored, no? Secondary, everything becomes ignored.
Attributes and modifications are ignored.
Yes.
Both.
Only one part you are highlighting. All other parts are ignored. Okay.
Okay.
That is in the first case. Okay. In the second scenario, which is
All
a
is taken.
case of valid knowledge, there nothing is secondary, everything is primary. This is only the difference.
Okay.
Okay. In the first example, one is highlighted, everything else is secondary.
Sir,
Okay.
like Atma is having Jnana, Darshan, all these attributes like that. But like that, we can, that first one.
So when you are highlighting the Atma, all other parts, its attributes, its modification, all are secondary. Okay. And in the second example, you are, that is valid knowledge. So there Dravya is also highlighted, Atma is also highlighted, the guns are also highlighted, and the modification is also highlighted. Everything is highlighted. Nothing is secondary. All are primary. Okay. Now you have understood, I suppose. Okay. So we will continue from here tomorrow, and it will take some time, but we will understand it very clearly. And I will ask you some questions tomorrow before starting on the session. So keep, you read and come. Okay. And also message to Priyanka ji, if she is coming tomorrow, then she should also read this part. We have covered very small part today, but anyway, no problem. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना